Okay.
Now, let's take the example of water. There are lots and lots of voters, particularly younger voters perhaps, who look at the sky above and look at their taps and think, why are we paying such a huge amount of money, £86 billion, to a private company to give us water? And they would like water to be renationalised. But the cost, according to the CPS, would be £86 billion.
I know, that's laughable figures.
Too high.
Let's be clear.
Too high?
Yes, of course. Look, let's be clear. The CPS is almost like a department of the Conservative Party. That report was written to a former advisor to Amber Rudd, so it's hardly independent.
But eventually somebody else will do a similar type of report.
No, what I'm saying is that Parliament will determine the price that we pay.
So 50 billion for water, is that too high or too low?
I think it is, but Parliament will determine the price. Let me just use this analogy, because I think people need to understand the process of it. It's almost like buying a property. We go out and we buy a house in London. The average price is £500,000. We borrow that money from the bank, okay? I then rent that house out. It brings in a rent. So in other words, I borrowed £500,000, but I've got an asset of £500,000, so they net each other off. I put it out, I rent it out, that rent comes in, I pay the mortgage, the rent will also cover a bit of income for myself, but also it will cover a bit of repair, maybe extend the property. That's what we'll do here. We'll bring them in-house. Yes, we'll borrow them money to do that, but the cost of basically the income that comes from those assets will cover that cost and enable us, I think, to reduce price and invest.
Socialism is the language of priority, somebody once said. As Labour Chancellor, you have lots and lots of call on money, lots of things on welfare, on education, NHS and so forth that you need to find money for. Is it really worth it to spend quite so much money to bring the PFI contracts in early and also for nationalisation?
I tell you why.
Is it worth it?
Yes, I think it is. I tell you why, because at the moment our NHS, our education services, other services are being drained by the exploitation of these private finance initiatives. Look at the National Audit Office report. It just gives one example of schools, 40% above the cost than if we'd borrowed as a state. One hospital, 70% above the cost. Some of our health authorities, they're paying out 20% of their income on the basis of PFI schemes.
Now, you're going to change that.